Right-wingers have been using the narcotic of copium to cope with the fact that Donald Trump did not win the general election. He will not be serving a second term. And one person who's certainly high on copium is Glenn Beck, who recently decided to cite some of his conspiracy theories, bring them to a new platform, Tucker Carlson's show, to cope with something that he just can't handle. Here's another edition of Copium Den.
The poll book is completely off.
What was it called by? Oh my goodness, all the networks!
Dumps. They call them dumps, big massive dumps.
One of the more insulting things that happens in political discussions is when people apply Nazism to situations they don't like, even though it has absolutely nothing to do with Nazis or the persecution of Jewish people, 6 million of which, of whom were slaughtered by Hitler. So understand the gravity of the Holocaust, and then think about how incredibly stupid Glenn Beck was in saying what he recently said on Tucker Carlson's show. Let's watch.
Tucker, this is the road we're on again. And it's not right if it's the left or the right that is doing it. It is absolutely un-American. You can't have freedom of speech if you can't express yourself in a meaningful place. This is like the Germans with the Jews behind the wall. They would put them in the ghetto. Well, this is the digital ghetto. You can talk all you want. Jews, you do whatever you want behind the wall. Well, that's not meaningful. And that's where we are. That's where millions of Americans will be.
So Glenn Beck has decided to cry about Nazis getting banned on social media. And then he treated the Nazis as if they're the true victims here. I mean, like, the whole thing is so gross. And as Jake Tapper pointed out, this is nothing like what the Nazis did to the Jews. And if you think that you're an absolute moron, he's an absolute moron. Like, let's not waste our time debating it. We know it. I hate these people. Yeah,
it's just fake, stupid BS. That's all it is. The only connection between the two things is the artificial rhetorical connection he made by coming up with the digital ghetto. That's it. He had to come up with a term to make it seem Nazi-ish because it wasn't on its face Nazi-ish. He's admitting with that rhetorical flourish that the case was not making itself. No, it's not. It's not what the Nazis did. Like, the issue with the internment camps wasn't lack of access to TikTok. That's not what was going on. That's not what the concern was about. And it's not affecting millions of people, or it will be. They always say that. It's always like, this is so beyond a slippery slope. This is like well, I can hypothetically come up with years later where it might affect someone else other than someone like Trump, who is being banned in response to very clear provocations of violence, not hypothetical ones, in the wake of deaths. And he only got the first 1,000 violations of the terms of service free, basically. Like, that's what he got. But they need to make it seem as if it's about something other than Trump. Again, this is, we only talk about free speech when it has to do with an incredibly powerful, wealthy person in media, journalism, entertainment, or politics who's probably white, losing access to something that they want to monetize soon. And that's what Trump wants it for. He wants it for it's not about the genuine philosophical connection. It's about making money off of his audience in the future, which he's still gonna do. It just makes it mildly more inconvenient.
Yeah, exactly. And the thought of someone like Glenn Beck, who's on Tucker Carlson's Fox News cable show, worried about censorship, please. I mean, the people who cry the loudest about this happen to have the largest platforms in the country. And I mean, to say that they've been censored is just absolutely ridiculous, especially when you consider, I love that you brought up all the terms of service violations, just how much of them have, how much of those violations have been compiled over like the last 4 years. And it's like, oh, this is the billionth time it happened, and now Trump is suffering consequences after insurrectionists breached the Capitol building and killed 5 people. What a victim.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.